In the recent months, IAS Tukaram Munde has emerged in Maharashtra as a food safety hero, with aggressive crackdowns on restaurants and food joints that are faltering. While he has received massive public support, he's also drawn some level of criticism. Today we sit down with him to talk to him about the thought behind the crackdowns, food safety issues in Maharashtra, and what he hopes best for the Maharashtra's food safety. Hi sir, thank you so much for your time and joining Forbes India.
Thank you.
So you recently joined as an FDA commissioner in May. What was the trigger point? What was the situation that you saw that you're taking such level of action?
The trigger point was that I joined as FDA commissioner. That's my role. So we identified our role. We discussed internally what is the way forward. To that, what we call in technical terms or even corporate terms, as is study and to be study. So we try to understand the situation by doing as is situation in food and drug sector. What is the road ahead? How to go ahead? And we finally decided upon a mission, and the mission is safe food, safe drugs, safe Maharashtra. So, and how to achieve that mission. So, we formulated a strategy as well, and the strategy was we call E3 strategy: empowerment of people, then enable businesses, and third is enforce with the law. So, we are working on this mission mode. We are taking action as per the mission mode approach going forward, following the principles, and means are to implement the act and regulations. That's how we approach it.
Yeah, what different you are doing than the previous officials, and what is your mission for going forward?
I don't think I am doing something very drastically different. I am just trying to implement the law, but however, in a mission mode approach, what we have done is identified the high risk areas, and we are working on that sector by sector. At the same time, what we are doing is taking action across Maharashtra in a particular manner. We are basically identifying area based on the complaints, grievances which we received either on phone or on mails. We publicize the toll free number to the public. Through that, public could connect us and give us the grievances or the issues which were raised. Later on, we shifted even to the portal. We launched the portal complaints.mahafda.in, and now we have good connect with the public. That is first criteria by which we take cognizance of the complaints. Second is the data available with us. We are verifying those data, analyzing those data. That is the second part. Third is of course whatever appears in the media or otherwise, and suo motu issues. So all these 3-4 criteria are applied. Evidences are collected, analysis is done, and then we decide, yes, this is where we need to work upon. While doing so, we do in a mission mode approach. That is why if you observe the actions in last around 2 months time, there are sectors we have focused upon. The first we started with the action against prohibited items, gutka and other things. That was the beginning. We followed it by hotels, restaurant, eateries. It was followed by milk and milk products or dairy and dairy products. Then we went ahead with school balanced diets for school children going to the school. So all these things were following in a mission mode approach. Our object is very, very clear that everybody who eats food, who purchases, that has to be safe, that has to be as per the standards. And if there are violations, we will come heavily on the violators.
But in the current scenario, is eating out for a normal consumer like you and I safe? Like, can they safely eat outside, or what are the parameters that they should consider?
Please understand, all these eateries are supposed to be having license, FSSAI license or registration as per the categorization. So, and when they have license or registration, it means they have to abide by these regulations. And these regulations talk about standards and safety measures while preparing the food, while serving the food, while storing the food, all these come in picture. Now, we observe those violations or we get complaint and we inspect, and or we have take samples normally also. What has changed over a period of time during last 2.5 months is, earlier most of the time my officers used to go, take a sample and test a sample and wait for the result. We are not doing that way now. What we are doing is, we are going and inspecting the places we think that they have violated or violating the norms based on this criteria as I mentioned. As a result, we are not just focusing on the sample itself, we are focusing on the whole regulations, whatever the applicable regulations and rules are there, whether those are being abiding or not, whether those are being complied or not, and any non-compliance, depending on the level of compliance, we are taking action, whether it is suspension of license, whether it is improvement notice, or whether it is warning, or leading to some cases cancellation of the licenses.
How do you decide that whether to give a warning or complete?
There is very objective criteria, it is not something subjective. Unsafe food means suspension forthwith, very clear, because that is directly affecting adversely the health of the consumer who consumes the food. And if there is a likelihood of health hazard affecting the people, we have to stop the business immediately, so that the public health hazard is prevented. So, that is where suspension or forthwith suspension comes in. If it is not, then it comes giving improvement notice that within a particular time they have to improve upon, comply, and accordingly they will come again, my officer will re-inspect again, and based on the factual position and the legal position we take a call. The small violations, we issue the warning notices, they improve, and we comply with that.
According to your observation, what were some worrisome things that you saw that people should know?
See, there are multiple. I think if I have to point out a issue, we should start asking the food which is safe and standard, not just tasty or so colorful food which is, which is generally अरे मुझे ऐसा खाना चाहिए, but we never ask for safe or standard food. That is where I think food habit of us needs to change. Rather than just for taste, you need to eat for your body and your mind. In that sense, this safety and standard is a transformation since 2011, because before that it was just a prevention of adulteration. Now that context has changed. Across the world, safety and standards are the best measures or actually prevalent and being practiced. Same needs to be done in India. For that matter, when we go for eating outside or order something food which is outside, we have to look at safety and standards. How do you do that? The first thing is that you have to know what are the ingredients or constituents in it. If you go to hotel, you ask, you are ordering something. So, you try to understand what are the ingredients and can you eat it, right from your allergens, that is prohibited for you, okay, this is allergen, so you cannot eat, that is one part. But what are the constituents, what is the calorie value, what is protein, what is it made of, whether the oil is either reused or fresh oil is there, what type of oil you are using, you can definitely ask these questions to the hotel and they will respond. Along with, of course, first thing is that you have to see that this is a FSSAI license FBO, you have to see the cleanliness and hygiene standards are expected there, and of course, on the menu card you see this calorification and other values. So, if you really are this much vigilant on the prepared food in the hotel, that will one way to go. Other way is that you purchase something packaged food. So, rather than just looking at the expiry and eat before or pricing, that you need to look into, beyond that you should start looking at the constituents and ingredients of that product, when it is manufactured, where it is manufactured, what are the constituents, whether that food is applicable to me or not, because many times it is a misleading name are there, oh it is sugar free, but in the constituents you read it, you find sugar is there. It is written advisable not to be taken or consumed by students or persons below 18 years of age or pregnant woman or lactating woman. It is very written, still you consume it. This advisory, please follow. These advisories are prepared scientific basis. These standards are based on science based standards. These are not something arbitrary. There are committees which are working, expert committees at national level. Those standards are prepared, those advisories are prepared. Those are meant to be complied both by FBO and actually practiced by the consumers. If that is the way we go ahead, I think this whole scary thing will not come into picture. So, that is what we need to be aware of. Food business operator need to abide by these standards, and as a regulator we will implement whether they are abiding or not.